taking a minute to process that. Um, one thing I would add a little bit to the conversation. So I work in the financial planning business. I've worked with a number of doctors over my career, and they, especially GPs, are like a lot of professionals, my profession included. I have a requirement to do between 25 and 40 hours a year of continuing education credits. That's to keep up to date with what's going on, compliance changes, regulatory changes, and in the case of doctors, changes in medical best practices. And given that we have very demanding career and time and that sort of thing, um, there's lots of people in various professions, lawyers, doctors, financial professionals, accountants, psychologists, who will do the minimum. And when I spoke to a couple of my doctor clients about this issue, they said, "Well, that's just the thing that is best practice." To them, it was just a matter of this is how we do it now, and this is the reason why. And so, when someone comes to you with these criteria, this is what you write the prescription for, and that's what the general the GPs do. Broadly speaking, they're there to be triage professionals, and identify things that require more specialized intervention, or to prescribe a solution on the spot. So uh, it is a flaw in our system, and it's very hard to figure out if we're dealing with incompetence, if we're dealing with malice, if we're dealing with any kind of intention or agency, or if it's just a property of the system. And uh, and I think at the same time that when we have ethical obligations, and I have similar ones. I have fiduciary obligations in my career to act in the best interests of the people who I'm giving advice to. We have an obligation to say, hey, wait a second, the recommendations coming from on high are wrong, and I need to take a stand. But despite that, and I met Aaron Kimberly. Lots of us know who Aaron Kimberly is, through a psychiatrist in British Columbia who was a tree planting buddy of mine and a university buddy of mine, and he's now one of the leading child psychiatrists in British Columbia. Um, he knows exactly what this is, and um, pardon me, but $1 million a year buys a lot of fucking cowardice. Um, and I'm extremely disappointed in somebody that I thought was, a person of integrity who just didn't have the courage to stand up and say this is wrong when he could have and when he should have. And there's lots and lots of doctors like that. Um, and the reality is that very few people can stand up and risk their careers and risk their livelihoods